Hey there, welcome back, Blade fans. OG Blade Reviews here. Formerly, yes, you guessed it, this old sword. See some of you just still recognizing that. OG Blades. And we've got something from Kizer today that was kindly sent to me for review by the folks at Kizer. And I did have a selection of handle materials and blade and so forth, which was nice. And I picked something that might just stun you. Okay, I've already taken that slip cover off the box, bleh, because as you know, if you've gotten Kizer knives, it's a little difficult, especially in front of a camera. So let's take a look at the end of the box and give you the full details there. Yeah. So this is going to be the chili pepper. And the chili pepper was out previous to these newer upgrades, I believe. I don't think they came out all at once. So inside, I just wanted to show you this. You get, I believe that's a Kizer sticker and not a Swags sticker. They do give you a black hardware in case you don't like what you're going to see on the knife. And I think that's about it. So let's take a look. Lots of good Velcro there. And are you ready? Look at that toxic green fat carbon. Oh my God. And you can see why they give you the black thumb studs. But hey, these go with this. I mean, it's kind of a different color green, but it is a toxic green, perhaps. Look at this chili pepper, and the handle looks like a chili pepper. I do have to pause for a moment and say that this is by Swags of Sharp and Pointy Swags, I believe, is her channel. I'm an older guy, so I'm going to say it's a young woman who is the designer, and you can check out her channel. I think she's got quite a few viewers out there. And let's talk about this knife, which I believe was upped recently in materials. So there you can see chili pepper and Swags, very nice logo. And over here, you see something trying to present itself. See if you can see that. S90V. So look at that. They really upped the game with this one. Not sure what the original was. Might have been S35. You know, I just don't have a history on all the knives. There are so many models. I'm glad I picked this handle and blade combo, though. I think these are coming in for a little over $100.50, which for S90V is just incredible. I'm going to try to give you some links from Knife Center, maybe from White Mountain. If you do shop at White Mountain, you can get 10% off by using my discount code OG-Blade or Old Sword, my previous name. Still up there. Lots of people have used that. Well, it's a button lock, and it is a very fidgety button lock. I'm hitting my lights here, trying to move my arm around, get a little momentum going. It is both a a thumb stud flipper, and it is, I'm going to roll it. Let's see if I can do it with my left hand. Right thumb's still kind of wonky. There we go. So you can front flip it. Not my favorite, but very easy for a lot of folks with those flexible fingers. This is the real deal fat carbon, by the way. This is not a knockoff like some of the swirled looking G10 or carbon fiber that passes itself for fat carbon. I am 99% sure this is fat carbon. So we're going to call it fat carbon. It's got the name toxic carbon fiber. So fat carbon likes to use those sorts of names. Got minimal branding there on the blade. It is white on black, so it does kind of pop. Minimal branding of the designer's name. and the knife name, which is nice to see because very often I'll forget the name of a knife and they got it on the blade. S90V, I'm not sure of the HRC, didn't find that anywhere. But for a smaller knife, get all 4 fingers on there, it is comfy. It's ergo friendly. And we're going to measure it up and give you a compare or two after that. So 7, I'm going to call it, let's call it 725 overall. And with a blade length of 3 inches exactly. I think they're calling it 3.0 something. And other dimensions. Handle in inches. 1/2 inch exactly. Isn't that nice? And squeezing that right in there, it's 0.10 inches of blade stock, which is 2.7 millimeters. And I think we're going to find that it's fairly light, might even make that ounce per inch magic number. Make sure I'm in ounces. Yes, I am. 3.07, we're going to call that 3 ounces. So if we've got a 3-inch blade and a 3-ounce knife, we have an ounce per inch. Way back when Nut and Fancy, the OG of blade reviewers on YouTube. I chose OG because I've been collecting knives a long time, using knives a long time, martial arts a long time. So I've only been reviewing, I think about, goes back 15, 16 years, something like that. Started, stopped, and then chose a new name. And here I am, over 1,000 videos, maybe close to 1,100 now, posted up on YouTube. So yeah, Nut and Fancy said ounce per inch was like the mark he was trying to go for weight reduction of the knife, easy to carry, and a decent blade length. So if you got a 4-inch knife and it's 4 ounces, that meets the same criteria. You get the drift. Really nice, kind of a, I'm not sure what the coating is on this. I don't know that they said what the coating is, but looks like it'll hold up. I mean, most black coatings, eventually you use the knife, you're going to start getting some wear on the high spots. I want to see if I can find some paper here, what this will do, what kind of edge they gave us. One moment. Here we got some armor-plated printing paper, computer printer paper. I have trouble with it sometimes. Haven't done anything to this blade, so what you see is what you get on this S90V. S90V doesn't mean necessarily that it's going to be sharp out of the box, but we'll see. Okay. Yep. A little draggy. I'd say it's decent. It ain't super. I did a Riot knife the other day in a review, the GTR, and that was just a laser out of the box. I think for the money it should be. Not really budget here. We're not under 100. We're not under whatever your budget level is, 50 bucks or whatnot. But it is a fidgety knife. It is locking up tight for a knife that gets so loose when you push the button. It's hard to believe they can make these knives so drum tight. Really excellent though. And as I said, we've got a little bit of jimping here, got a long run of jimping. And it's, I would say, medium grippy. Not extremely grippy, but even here, where it seems to fall a little below the surface of the frame, by the way, exposed liners and a weight relieving on the inside. And I think you can see that. If you can't see that, I ain't going to shine a light in for this one. But the action is nice. The thing with button locks is, how much do I need to push it before it falls? And actually, this isn't too bad. Excellent, excellent. So this is another one where pinch it, get the tip of your thumb in, and it'll close. Put the pad of your thumb there, and it gets a little wobbly, but it won't close. For me, that's a good safety factor. I like that. So whether in the right hand or the left hand. And by the way, this is a switchable clip that rides on the surface. Okay, so you lefties, you can have at it. And if I hold it in the left hand, either way, the clip, you can feel the clip a little bit. But as far as, see, if I'm holding it in the left hand, that button's completely free. Nothing's touching that button. If I hold it in the right hand, there's the possibility of my thumb coming across that, but still, oh, there it goes. I pushed in pretty hard. But as far as an accidental depression of the button goes, I think you'll be okay. And then again, it depends upon what you're using it for. A lot of people saying, this steel's good, that steel's not good. This hardness is good, that hardness is bad. I put a link to a playlist on my channel with Laren Thomas, Dr. Laren Thomas, the metallurgist, stating to some guys on the WorkSharp channel that edge geometry trumps, excuse the political reference, hardness and steel composition every time. So the edge you put on a knife is more important than the steel. Now, a lot of you are going to cringe at that. You may leave me some comments and saying I'm wrong, but in effect, you're saying that Laren Thomas is wrong. And if you got a degree in metallurgy, you could probably contest it. But I would say I tend to believe him, because I've had some knives in all steels that are extremely sharp and that hold an edge decently well. So anyway, even these, I think it's Outpost 78, Outpost 78, 68, 67. It could be Outpost 67. I'm sorry. And my forgiveness or my condolence, my apologies, good Lord. My apologies to the guy that runs that channel. He does an excellent job cutting tests and so forth. And you'll notice that he gets better performance out of the knives after 2 or 3 or more sharpenings. So what does that tell you? Same steel, same hardness, better sharpened. This is the Valkyrie, for compare, by Vostede. One of my favorite kind of 3-way openers in button knives. It's got the Trek lock, which also, this particular one, this is actually closing easier than the chili pepper. So again, it's up to you. This one is both a back flipper, a thumb flipper, a gravity opening knife, right? Or a front flipper. So that's kind of cool that they put so many opening methods on this. It's got a recessed clip, both sides, very nice. Like the color combo on this one. I like the gray and the satin. So that again is the Valkyrie, kind of a sax design. Well, really, Valkyrie. I mean, the reference is sax, right? Norman sort of blade shape from a sword design. And you could call it certainly a sheep's foot, or maybe even a Wharncliffe. It goes back far enough that I would call it a Wharncliffe. Pretty classic Wharncliffe, actually. What else for size compare? Well, let's put the Rat 1 out there. We know it's going to be bigger. It's bigger. Right there. Okay, so we've got, geez, about 2 inches, something like that. Got a blade, about 1 inch. So yeah, I mean, this is what you carry if you want a large knife, at least 3 3/4 inch blade. The Valkyrie and the chili pepper, that's what you're going to carry if you want not a real small knife. 3 inches is nice, and it might just make the cut, excuse the pun, in some areas where you have to have a, can't carry over 3 inch or whatnot. This is just 3 inches, but I know in my jurisdiction, it's the sharpened edge that matters. So ours has to be under 4 sharpened inches, and some places need to be under 3 sharpened inches. But we'll take another look around. Really excellent knife, this chili pepper, and kudos to Swags, who designed it, from Sharp and Pointy Swags, or Swag, singular. Wide open design, exposed liners, light knife, 3 ounces, 3-inch blade. It might just come in perfectly handy for you for your next EDC choice. An S90V, sharpen that thing up. I would strop it, out of the box and see what that gives you. If not, and you're adept at it, put a new edge on, change the angle, whatnot. I'm sure you can get an extremely sharp blade out of this, but it's a very usable sharp. Remember, paper isn't the end be-all and end-all of edge sharpness. If you're going to cut meat or something else, or even cardboard, the paper cut test may really not be valid. Anyway, there you go. OG Blade here with you, and I'll be back. I've got a ton of knives coming up to review, so stay tuned, be well, and don't forget to subscribe.